Medicare. I am so sorry that this happened, and we'll see if it lets me in. It says upcoming. Okay, now it's not even showing this one that I just started as a legit live. And there's got a big lock on my screen. It's working? Okay. Let's see if I can get in now, guys. Ah! Yes! Success. Woohoo! I'm lost if I can't see what you guys are saying. And I mean, what's the point of getting on here for 2 hours and working and then not have it work? Oh my goodness. Well, some of you heard on the other feed what happened. I won't try to dwell on this too long, but I had said out loud to the lady at Medicare, great, I'll wait another year while I go blind. That was not too cool. Hi, Renee. Okay, so last time we were here, we were playing with the epoxy. I did that wild woman piece. Now, I posted Kathy Lane's link to her video. She did a whole series of, I guess they were like warrior women. And at the end of the video, I didn't realize it was the end, she showed how she took an MDF board and she had layered, she must have taped the board off because she layered the perfect amount of texture paste around her frame so she could inlay, hi Renee, hi Catherine, she could inlay the tile in that texture, and the texture and the tile were pretty much at the same height level. It looked beautiful piece. So I had attempted it. Now, I went back and watched her video a few more times and realized all the little spots I kind of missed. But we could see what it dried like and get an idea what we did. And I'm pretty happy with how the colors came out. So let's take a look at this, if the camera lets me turn this around. Now, my little head did slide a little bit to the right. You can see there in the areas where I did those little opal drops, it does kind of have a little opal effect. The silicone in it kind of did some strange patterns. I didn't do any of this. If you see how all that gold went off to the right or the left. And do you see what looks like a petal shape in here? What Kathy Lane has said was that the, for some reason, the silicone created these strange petal shapes in her epoxy. And what's even more interesting is the silicone, and maybe it's because it's on the tile, I don't have any divots or dips. It's like the resin went right over the top and self-leveled, so there's no pitting where the silicone was from either here, and there was a tiny bit of silicone in my gold. I realize this is kind of a crazy abstract piece, and if you didn't watch me make it, you kind of said, what is she showing us on camera, right? But yeah, I said, like, went back and I watched her video, and I saw what she had done, and the colors came out really pretty. But hi there, senior helpers. How are you, sweetheart? All right, so today, since the set is still set up with the silicone mat here to do epoxy, and I didn't have, oh gosh, please don't do that to me, phone. The phone is starting to behave weird already. It has something to do with the weight. I need to be able to turn it this way, and you guys see me mix and turn it this way and have it stay. It wants to float. So let's make sure this thing's locked tight. It turned out interesting. Didn't have quite the form that she did, but I do have some epoxy mixed up. Why is it doing this? What is going on? No, no, no. I want to lock this in place. Sorry, guys. We're having some technical issues today, and I am determined I'm not going to make you sick and dizzy while this thing behaves funny. All right, I think I got it locked in place. So, I recently also saw somebody that looked like they did a piece that looked similar to a Dutch pour, but in epoxy. So I'm going to try this. Now, I did order a new heat gun for my epoxy. It's due here, I think, tonight, so I don't have it to show you. So I'm going to have to warm up my epoxy with my torch and then blow with a regular blow dryer to try to get it to do this for me. So we'll see how well this works. I do have plenty of epoxy mixed up. Now, we're going to use some Purely Pigments today. Oh, good, you got your swipe tool. Awesome, Patty. Yeah, I saw that order that you put through. So what we're going to do is I am going to actually use some resin art here because it's a pigment system that is designed with color that is compatible with your epoxy. You cannot put this in acrylic. You will get marshmallow. There are different pigment systems. Where primary elements, I can actually pre-dissolve this in the Vivid Art fluid and get the My Grotto to work. This is not compatible in the other way into acrylic. So don't get confused. If you happen to get some resin art, you know it's specifically for epoxy, thus the name resin art. Now, this is a beautiful color called Purple Sapphire. This is in the regular satins, okay? And this is a color called Andromeda. And look how big the flakes are. This is the Galaxy Diamond, and it's because it's got really big, large particulate mica in it, okay? Baby dragons, awesome, okay? So let's look first at the difference between the satin, which has their fine mica in it, and the Andromeda. Now, Andromeda actually is a really dark blue, even though there's some violet in it, which actually makes it darker. Hi, Diane from New Jersey. I spoke to her on the phone today. Yay, I'm so glad you joined us, Diane. It's a pleasure, sweetheart. And by the way, Diane did a case study when she was a nurse on sarcoidosis because it was so rare. So those other nurses in the hospital that looked at me like I was out of my mind when I said sarcoidosis, if Diane had been with me, we would have had no problem. She would have known right away what I was talking about, right, Diane? She did her, as part of her paper, her nursing program, she had to pick a topic. And because sarcoidosis is considered rare, she did it on my thing. She was such a sweetheart, too. So glad you found us again, Audra. That other was not allowing me to see the chat or you guys to be able to chat with each other, so it wasn't going to work, okay? Now, to measure this, I know I've gotten away from my spoons. You guys see me on with my sticks all the time, but just so we're on the same page, this is and it's real fluffy. That's a 1/4 teaspoon of the Andromeda. And this is a 1/4 teaspoon of the Purple Sapphire. Now, the beautiful thing, whether we're using Vivid Intense or Purely Pigments, we can still modify this, make different colors out of it. Now, the Andromeda, you're going to notice there's a lot. Okay. Bigger flakes in it. My Andromeda is acting up. Why is my Andromeda acting like that? It's not supposed to do that. Come on, baby. Get my color base mixed in. Beat it down. Andromeda is usually really, really dark. Now, years ago, and my batches are really old, there was a batch run that somebody made with the wrong color. They used the color we use in Primary Elements in it, and I think that's exactly what we're looking at. Darn it. We're obviously, take a look at what happens with the Purple Sapphire. That's what your drama is supposed to look like, but only in the big flakes. See how, that is such a beautiful color. Look at that purple sapphire. But what we will use, I had a backup plan. I did not know my Andromeda was going to behave like that. I know they're not that way anymore. That was an issue we had a long time ago. This set is actually, I'm going to put this up on the ColorPlay page as a deal because we have quite a few of these. Okay. And a few of these sets, this is called Ocean Diamonds. This particular part is kit part 2 of the set because it's a 12-piece set. And it has aquamarine, royal amethyst, jasmine. I want it because I want this blue moon. So I'm going to just bust the set open. Right on camera for you guys. And these are little 15 mil jars. These are not 30 mil jars. They just have a different shape. And on that subject, you guys, we had to order some emergency 15 mil jars. They landed yesterday. They're a little bit taller and skinnier than these, and it's a different type of plastic. So if you get this, if you get something that has a different shape, it's only because the manufacturer was out of the regular jar that we use. So this is part of the set called Ocean Diamonds. This is a pretty color to use. I wouldn't mind using Tahitian Sunrise. I am bummed about this Andromeda. This is one of the prettiest, darkest blues out there. I guess what I could do is fix it, but I'd rather you see the real deal, man. We can always move back, and I could do a tile test with that thing. We need to see what the real deal is like. And Andromeda is such a deep blue. Well, there's another blue we have that's just stunning, and it is called a blue moon. And you can see it is also a wildly large, sparkly, if I can get this top off here, large sparkly flakes, okay? So it is a galaxy diamond color. There's 3 different types of the resin art. Galaxy diamond with the big flakes, satin with the fine flakes, and the tints that have no mica in them. And they're like another chemistry set. You can modify your colors. Blue moon is stunning. I mean, it really is a really, really pretty color. And yeah, here we go. Now this is what that Andromeda should look like, but it has a little bit of a purple tint to it. Oh my God. Look at that. One beautiful thing about the resin art is there's a wetting agent in there. And so mica normally poofs up when you're trying to put it in epoxy. In this case, there is no poofing. Now, this particular tile, I'm going to do a whole background with the dark blue. So I actually need more of this color. I want to cover the whole thing with the blue and a little bit of purple, and then attempt what looks like a Dutch pour up the edge. So this blue moon color, let me see if I can find this. I'm going to need more of this than anything else. And then everything else is going to be kind of around it. So let's mix up some more. I know I'm probably getting a little heavy with the pigments. And you can even tell there's a wetting agent. It kind of behaved like it was moist there. Yeah, we pre-moisten the resin art so it dissolves beautifully in your epoxy. Maybe it's a happy accident that I got to use the blue moon. It is such a gorgeous color. And I don't mind. Right? Let's get all this out. Okay. Get another little bit that we got mixed up back here. Because again, I'm afraid I don't have enough. I could be wrong. If I have extra, that's fine, but I'm afraid I'm not going to have enough made. There we go. Ooh, be careful I don't dump it. Oh, can you see how pretty that is on the camera? Ooh, this is like beautiful blue diamonds. I have more than enough of that. Okay, that'll make the background real interesting. Okay, and then the colors up front for my supposed Dutch pour effect. I'm laughing only because those of you know me know I haven't quite mastered the Dutch pour completely. I can color mix, but that doesn't mean I'm an expert at every single technique out there. Hey there, Kathleen McGee. How you doing, sweetheart? You're not that late. She's not that late at all. So since I brought the blue grotto out, we might as well show to the crew, if I had a primer element, what would I do to convert it to something that can go into epoxy? So primer elements dissolve in acrylic. And you can put acrylic paint in epoxy, but you have to be careful about how thick it is. If you have a heavy body paint, right, it's going to take your working time down. It's going to cut that working time down. Vivid art fluid, people use this for lots of stuff, to stiffen their canvas, to actually now they're doing some techniques that's creating big giant cells using this stuff. But in this case, a little bit of, and somebody asked me the other day how to do this. She was confused and was putting too much Vivid Art fluid into it. So it's a good thing for me to show you guys on camera kind of how I do this. So technically it's 2 parts primary elements. Oh, I don't have a lot left in here. So 2 parts primary elements. That's 1/4 teaspoon, right? Now, again, it's not perfect, okay? This is also 1/4 teaspoon. So I'm going to try to put half of what's in this 1/4 teaspoon. I don't want to, I'm having trouble opening up this bottle. I don't want to wet those spoons because I'm using for dry material. So I'm going to put about half of this in here. See, the spoon's about half. See if that's enough to muddle it up. Think about making roux when you do gravy, right? When you're making gravy, you're mixing butter and flour together, right? Now this needs probably a drop more. There's a couple drops, right? Now I've dissolved all the color. If you put this directly in resin, you might think, oh, I see some color, and then keep adding more and more powder, thinking it's going to make the difference. But the epoxy cannot dissolve this color. It has to be pre-dissolved with some form of acrylic. And the art fluid has no thickener in it. This feels like skim milk. So when you use this with your primary elements, your working time will still be 45 minutes or beyond. And now that it's pre-dissolved, there's no problem mixing that in the epoxy. And one of the cool things about the primary elements, yes, they're translucent in acrylic, but they have a little more opacity in the epoxy because they don't actually dissolve, but they'll beat in like butter beats with sugar, but that doesn't mean they dissolve, okay? All right, so a couple more colors I want to do. I was going to do black and white, but I really don't need a black and white. Wild Jasmine is another color we have a high stock on, so I'm going to also put this in the ColorPlay deals page this afternoon. The set and the Wild Jasmine will be marked down 7%. No code. You'll just see the price is a little bit different. And it'll be on the actual page. It'll also be in the ColorPlay deals page if that's, you know, a way to kind of focus down what you're doing. Now, this is a pretty color. It wasn't really my plan because I was going to do a turquoise, a hot pink, and a gold. But hey, why not? Let's add more color. Yeah, I know. I love Wild Jasmine. So, Diane, I promised I'd show you how we do the purely pigments. Yeah, the resin art's fantastic. And of course, for a while, resin wasn't, you know, on the peak of everybody's minds in 1819 when I came out with these things. But a friend of mine tasked me to make these. She said, we need a coloring system, right? H2Os, just don't get too excited. We didn't get the money for the hot box. We only got about a third of the money that we needed. But I'm still going to order the gum, you know, and I'm going to get the jars in. Probably end of May, early June is when you're going to see them. That's why there's no pre-order event up there. I may be auctioning off the ones I have in my garage. I need to raise capital to move. The landlady here is unrelenting on trying to get me out of this house I've been into for 18 years. So you might see some auctions coming up for me to be able to get out of this house. And it'll be great, actually. I'll be able to have much more filming room once I move to a single-story house. So it's going to be a good thing. All right, there's the same quarter teaspoon of the wild jasmine. Now, this is a satin, okay, because it's got the fine mica in it, not the large particulate. I'm not going to do quite as much. I don't need that much epoxy. This is going to be for the lacing of my supposed Dutch pour part of it. Supposed Dutch pour part of it. So there's your wild jasmine. Now I want to add a little bit of something to this. I'd like to make this a little bit more sparkly or more interesting. So I'm actually going to take some of this sparkle red we've been playing with lately. Judy kind of got me hooked on this. And I'll just add a pinch of the sparkle red. And I'm going to add a pinch of sparkle gold. Why not? So it adds an extra little bling bling. Boy, that gold is pretty. Sparkle gold is gorgeous. Add something to it that's really going to add some flash. So as this blows up, it's semi kind of translucent, and you're going to see all the sparkle that I just added to that kind of blow up into the darker color behind that. So now we got some extra gold and red sparkle flashing on this thing as we play this. I love playing with the fluorescents. Can't wait to see. Oh, you're going to have so much fun in those. On that note, instead of doing a 5-piece set, I'm going to do a full collection. So as soon as set 3 launches, they're working on it right now. We're expecting another load of jars on Monday. As soon as set 3 actually ships, which could be next Friday, a week from tomorrow is when I'm hoping when the first sets ship. You are going to suddenly see an announcement of the fluorescence going up. So, okay, so we got the wild jasmine in here. I kind of want this cyan aqua to break things up and getting all kind of pink and blue, but I need some kind of turquoise in here. I'm a turquoise and purple girl. So let's add some of the epoxy in this cup. Now, Purely Pigments, a lot of people are talking about how to do the dropper. I think I just mentally memorized how to do the dropper. So I'll open up the bottle just so it's screwed up. Then I completely push all the air out of it, put my thing down into the cup, and then release. And let's hope this works as I just showed it on camera. 2, 3, 4, 5 drops of the cyan aqua. Believe me, it wasn't as easy as it looks because it took me weeks to figure out the darn droppers. They were driving me crazy. Any of you guys saw the earlier videos, you saw me freaking out with that. So here is the cyan aqua by itself with nothing in it. Okay, if that's something you want something matte. Now this has a little more opacity because there was 5 drops put in it. The beautiful thing with the Purely Pigments, add just a little bit, you get the translucency, add a lot more, you get more and more and more opaque as you add the color. Okay, this one I am gonna go with Interference Blue. I'm sure this isn't gonna surprise any of you guys. Me adding some Interference Blue and some sparkle blue to this stuff. I got too many little tubs of stuff around here. Here's some sparkle blue. Too many tubs to play with. Too much time on your hands. Okay. Now that is just gonna be gorgeous. But see how the mic is gonna poop up if you're not careful? That's the beautiful thing about the resin art. You don't have to worry about it. They're already pre-moistened, so they just slip right in. Here is our cyan aqua with some interference blue and sparkle blue. Now, for those that you are new and don't know the difference, I do this almost every single time. All of them are interference, but they come with different particulate size. So this is the ultra fine, Diane. I know this is your first time on here. So ultra fine, you see how strong that shift is. You can still see the black of the hand underneath, but this dominates and changes the way you see the color. So my hand has that look of blue. Sparkle blue is also an interference, but it's a bigger flake. See how it's more flashy, and then we get to this light interference. And then the diamond, if I can find the blue diamond, well, here's a violet diamond, okay? The diamond is even a bigger flake, which actually is what's in the Galaxy Diamond colors. And look how big that flake is. Big flake, middle-sized flake, ultra fine. They're all considered interference, but you've got fine, sparkle, diamond, okay? I think that needs to be shown almost every time so everybody can understand the nuances here. I am gonna mix up just some of the blue because I want a little float that looks like interference floating into the dark blue. So let's get some of this out. So we're just gonna do some interference blue and sparkle blue. I call it interference, but the fine interference blue and the medium particulate sparkle blue in the line called Bling It. Now I have formally done it correct. Yes, the product line is called Bling It, and there's different sizes of particulates, whichever suits your fancy. The fine will really shift and change the way your color base looks. The sparkle and the diamond just add more flash. I know Mandy loves to do like interference gold, but sparkle red, or interference red and sparkle violet. So you don't necessarily have to do blue on blue like I'm doing here. I'm doing blue on blue. So here's some of our sparkle. I got the wrong tops on everything. Here's some of the straight interference. And like I said, it will be very careful folding it in because these are not preconditioned. When you buy the Bling It, they're designed to go in anything. As a matter of fact, I know people that wear this stuff as eyeshadow because it's just pure raw minerals, right? There's really nothing in the Bling It. They're just pure minerals. So be very careful mixing this up. Otherwise, it will poof right out of the cup. I'm considering rebottling the wetting agent we use on the resin art. And if I could teach you guys how to pre-moisten your interferences so it doesn't poof out of the cup. If you guys think that's worthwhile, let me know. Here it is straight in the epoxy. All right, and then the only thing I think that's missing from the lineup here, quite frankly, this wild jasmine's not as wild as I would like it to be. And there is a color called Dancing Fuchsia. A lot of you guys are familiar with the Dancing Fuchsia. Let me tell you, this is the hottest rhodamine pink you can get on the market. And we're going to add a few drops of that in here just to make that color a little bit hotter. Let's see what happens if we warm it. It just looked a little dull to me. Looked like it needed a little bit of pizzazz. Now we got a little more color in there. Now I want the fluorescent. Luna, you got my mind on the fluorescence, right? I'm thinking of, this isn't even out yet, but add a drop of fluorescent pink. Why not? I mean, it's my color, right? I can mix it up any way you want. So now we got dancing fuchsia, fluorescent pink, and wild jasmine. And let's see how this pops on camera when we start playing with it. All right, so let's make a really gorgeous gold. Let me get all my interferences out of the way. I got way too many jars opened up here, and they all need a home. Okay, I have an ultra fine gold. I don't have this in a little jar, and I got the golden maple, okay? But I believe even in my metallics, I always put a little color on it. And fun fact, if you look at DecoArt's 24 karat gold, the gold that everybody loves to use, and even some of the golden colors and Rust-Oleum colors, what you don't realize is there's actually a yellow in their gold. It's not just gold mica. If you wonder why their stuff is so darn pretty, then when you mix up just mica, that's why, okay? So I'm going to put some of this, I think it's called Egyptian gold on our website. It's just a real fine gold. Then the golden maple, which is a much bigger particulate, right? We'll put some of that in there. Love my golds. Okay, let's get this up and out of the way. And let's add some of this bit of honey. Right now the website still says ginger. I'm so sorry. I just noticed this morning I was coming on that I hadn't changed it to bit of honey, but this is the bit of honey, 3, 4, 5 drops. I don't know if it needs 1 drop of Aztec gold. This bit of honey may be enough. I just want to make the gold a little bit richer. And by adding a tiny bit of color, and this is to any mica, all these micas that everybody's collecting, you know, when you're using them to make your pour paints or whatever, add a dab of color to them. You're going to find that your mica powders will look a lot richer if there's a drop or 2 of color with them. It like makes a complete paint. Okay, last thing I'm going to do to this color is I'm going to put some silicone in. We were experimenting with silicone when we did the Warrior Woman. And, oh, that tile's in the other room. Darn it. I'll show you tomorrow. There was a tile I did with that black that we put the big sparkle green in, and it had the fluorescent purple or fluorescent red violet. And when I went over the top with the gold, I got the most beautiful lacing. And again, the resin settled and leveled and no pits. And I think maybe it's because I was working on tile. I can't explain why, but I got no pitting in the resin. I actually called a few people. I called Fairy Art Mother and said, why are not people not using more silicone in their resin if it's creating such a gorgeous effect? She didn't really have an answer for me. All right, so how much to put in here? I'm going to take not the tip, but the wooden, the more square end of my stick. I'm just going to add some drops. Now, I do know that the less you stir it, that's a lot of silicone, I know. The less you stir it, the bigger, because you can almost see it in the top. So I'm only going to give it 1 stir. I want bigger cells if I'm going to get big cells. I want them. All right, now where do we put this epoxy? Get it out of the way so we can bring our tile forward and work on that. Get everything out of the way. Even the excess epoxy is out of my way. I am too prone to dumping stuff over. Let me get this stuff lined up and out of the way. and we'll get rocking and rolling on what I'm imagining my piece will look like today. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go off without a hitch. Okay, now last time I did it, believe it or not, I used the top of the lid to hold on to the tile. Again, not sure how much this is going to work. I did not want to put my turntable on here because it would take up too much room. And if I wanted to do a second piece, I've got 2 cans sitting here. So if I want to do a second piece, I have a place to lay the second piece to drip. So we're going to try to do it in this method. So I don't even have to move it. We're going to do a horizontal with solid color on the bottom, and then some strips I'm kind of blowing up. This is a 10-inch wide, boy, my throat's having some troubles here, by a 14-inch wide tile. You can see the back of this. This is a cheap tiles from Doll Tile. Okay, so I want to cover the whole thing with dark blue, a little bit of purple galaxy. I make a horrible mess. I'm about to make a terrible mess, Renee. It doesn't wash off once it's dry. What doesn't wash off? Yeah, but I'm telling you, Michelle, I'm going to try it even on the ones, because I'm telling you that resin went right over the top where it was and zero pitting. I have no idea why. Again, sadly, I don't have my regular heat gun for this, guys. Try to find my little silicone tools. These are used for when people get their hair dyed. You can tell I'm not really good about getting my excess silicone off of these. See if I can find one that's a little bit cleaner. Maybe not. That's okay. I know you guys will forgive me. It isn't about how clean my tools are. It's how pretty this color comes out. Now, I'm going to heat this up with a little bit of a torch. Because I'm laying pure color down, I don't feel like I need to do a base coat of just clear. Most people do. So we'll see how this works, me trying to smooth this around. And if you guys could imagine trying to do this with a camera 3 inches from your face. But here is a way to get a gander of this color. It is absolutely stunning. The blue moon's beautiful. If I can lift it up and do that, I will. Let's get some of this blue moon all the way down to the bottom. I have plenty of it made, I know. But I want to get it spread out as if this was my lubrication color. I may need to stand up to get better action here. Now, one thing I want to do is I'm going to lay in some of the purple sapphire in this, which is why I'm not worried that it's not perfect and kind of spotty. And because of the tile, I'm aware that I could put way too much resin on this because the tile can only take so much, guys. You're kind of stuck with what the tile allows you to do. So I'm going to dribble a few little spots of purple sapphire in here. Okay, now I think it's time. Even though I don't have the proper thing, I'm going to stand up and see what I can do to smooth this off. Bear with me, guys. God, those colors are beautiful. I can say that. Okay, I do have a silicone spatula. If I could just get it to spread here and there. I just want highlights of this color through it. I know I don't have my big heat gun on, and I'm trying to use the torch and not burn the epoxy. So this is taking a little bit longer than it would if we were doing this with the proper heat gun. I'm going to get all the rest of this blue moon on here. So this whole tile is covered with blue moon and or purple galaxy or purple sapphire. That purple sapphire is stunning. I don't know if this acetate's going to help, but sometimes you can just do the acetate over the top. Nope, it's not going to help. Okay, I'm going to have to go back to something that's actually going to move it. Maybe time for me to use the gun and kind of blow it. But think of this as the flood coat on your canvas that you're filling out before you do a Dutch pour blow. That's kind of what the effect I'm going for here. And I wanted a little bit of the galaxy or the blue moon get randomly put in with this purple galaxy or the purple sapphire color. I keep calling it galaxy. Purple galaxy is big flakes. Purple sapphire is the fine. Trying to get the rest of this blue off. I guess I made the right amount of blue moon. I can't see what anybody's saying because I'm standing up just doing this, so bear with me, guys. If you're saying anything, I'm out of luck. Again, I just want it nice, good coverage. No little pits, dots, any place that's not covered, it's got to be covered first because it will level out. It's one thing about resin is it's self-leveling. Okay, so let's, ooh, that's kind of pretty now that I'm looking at this thing. Can you guys see this? I don't know how well you can see this without me actually tilting it forward. Okay, everybody's talking about their heat gun and stuff. So real quick, a little gander before we go crazy, okay? Why am I getting spots that it's lifting up on? Because my tile's brand new, clean out of a box. I've got some little resistance areas here. All right, let's add the Dutch pour effect and see what happens, see if this works. I just have to remember I'm only on a 10 by 14 and I don't have a lot of area to cover. Just so I can kind of do it this way. Sometimes they have finger oils on them. That's true. I should have wiped it down with alcohol first. It's possible that there's finger oil. I hope not. Okay, so I want to do some veins, like just as if it was a Dutch pour. So I've got a little interference here. some of this wild jasmine slash dancing fuchsia slash what other color is on there. I have my cyan aqua. Again, be careful, Leslie, don't put too much paint on there. This is only a 10 by 14, right? I get a little carried away with the color when I start pouring it on, and I don't think I'm alone in that. A lot of people have a tendency to do that. This is that other blue, which will be a little bit more opaque. Remember, it's the blue grotto made out of the primary elements, okay? And then this gold, right, that I put some silicone in. And then I'm going to go back and put some more of the interference on top, just the pure interference on top, because I really want to see that floating up above into those dark colors. I'm having it at this angle because I think I can blow it easier at that angle. Hang on a second, guys. One thing you got to do is make sure you have an area to put your tools. Always, always, always. God, those colors are beautiful on that tile. So I'm adding a paper towel over here that will have alcohol sprayed on it, so my tools stay clean. Alcohol is your friend. I got spray bottle alcohol. Alcohol is your friend for cleanup, right? You want to clean up your tools and keep them so you can reuse them over and over again. You definitely don't want to ruin your tools. Okay, so let's keep these over to the side so I have room. All right, so I'm gonna try to do it, blow it with this gun. Now this gun does have, it's hot, but I don't know if it's hot enough. So just to be safe, we'll do one more blast. Yeah, you heard it fall over. And then see if I can't blow this up in there. Holy moly. Holy moly. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? It is crazy. Let's see if I can't pull this up and over so you guys can see this. Can you see that lacing? Can you see what the silicone is doing? It's crazy. And I'm kind of digging the silicone, baby. I put this in the gold, gave it one stir, and it went nuts. Now, I could tilt it back just a little bit this way, just because the bottom looks a little bit funny, right? Look at that. Can you see that pattern? Oh my God. That's insane. And I'm liking how the purple sapphire is kind of playing That's a great name for this, Under the Sea. The only thing I want is one area a little bit higher. I don't know if it's going to work. Maybe I don't want to mess with it because I'm liking how I'm getting these. It looks like blue-green trails. It's actually those two blues that have the interference in them. Okay, well, it's a good thing I left room up here because I actually have probably enough epoxy, enough time if you guys want to stay and try a second one. I'm going to try to move this over here to the first time. I got it sitting on top of a paint can here. And okay, I'm digging what it's doing. I had to make sure this is not dripping in any of the other cups that I've got. Right, so it looks like we're okay. I can't even touch the screen yet. I got to get alcohol off my hands because I can't touch my phone. Watching you while working makes it more funner. Well, thank you. Look at my beautiful hands, right? With all the sparkle all over them. Yeah, those dribble dots. Wait till you see the dribble dots. I peeled some off of the last piece. I need to use those as a textural component in a piece, right? I think it would be awesome to use them as a textural component in a piece. Okay, so I think my gloves are clean enough to where I can, I am using Micro Lube Type 200 silicone oil. I'm just making sure that the drops are not getting on my iPad or my phone before we do another round. Okay, so let's stick this up here. I like the blue background, but with all the colors I have mixed up, I mean, I could do another blue background, stick to my theme, but my mind is calculating, okay, what else would... What if I did the whole thing in an interference base and blue color into the interference? It's probably something I would do and you guys might not do for yourself. So, and it'd be the easiest thing for me to mix up. I'm looking for my spray bottle, guys. Sorry if you're wondering what I'm doing. I just have to make sure we're neat and tidy while we're doing this. So, all right, I'll put some more paper towels down. Yeah, you have a point. I might have to mix up some more color. I'd like to be able to use what I've got left. Sorry, I got my phone at a weird position right now. I'm setting up this area right here so we can mix again. I think this created an incredible effect. And I don't know. What if I did it in dark red? I got so much purple here, it could get lost. The turquoise would be really pretty on top of the dark red. I guess the pink would be. You know what? We could do the background in, I thought it would too, but for some reason, I don't know if maybe it has to do with the tile. Orange. Sharon wants an orange background. No, because I'm not. The gold would probably blend too far into that orange. Orange background. That's an interesting thought. No, says Sharon McCabe. Well, right now, let's see, at least do we have enough of this interference so we're not wasting any time because we got some resin we want to use. So Let's see, I think I got enough of this color, the pink. I got enough of this color. If I do the background in a clear, this probably won't stand out. But I want you guys to see how gorgeous it is with interference. You know what? What the heck? I should just do another blue moon or suggestions. No one's giving me any other suggestions other than the one lady, Sharon, who said do orange. If I do the whole thing in turquoise, then my turquoises and pinks aren't going to work. They're not going to show up like in those veins. I think instead of me having to second guess myself, I know you're going to hate this. I'm just going to do more of the blue moon. But what if I do it this way? No, I still think this color combination is gorgeous. And somebody may want that one, and I'll have to make a second one. More blue moon. More blue moon. Okay, more blue moon. Make a big batch. And that was the perfect amount. I got to tell you, what I made was the perfect amount. I ran out of it. It covered the entire tile. I don't need any more purple sapphire, that's for sure. We got plenty of that. I got plenty of the pink. I think we got plenty of everything else. That's why the thing is, I was sitting here thinking what I've already got made up and what's going to go with it without me having to like rethink the whole darn thing again. Probably need a tiny bit more epoxy. This is my last little half cup. Because that's what we did. We covered the whole tile with this. So this is going to be a lot easier this time around. Ooh, I could have just mixed it in the same cup with what I got left. I will say this blue moon, hands down, is one of the prettiest blues you could ever imagine on the face of the earth, and it's stunning in epoxy. It's just stunning. And if you notice how quick that mixed, it mixed real quick. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I want this cyan a little bit more concentrated. I think my turquoise got a little lost. Make a little bit more of that. Because I love the turquoise and that dark blue together. Make a little bit more of this. Let's add some of this eye blue and sparkle blue. Eye blue, we got eye blue. I know you guys are saying better Leslie makes the mess than we do, right? I'm looking for my sparkle blue. Where the heck are you? Oh, here we go. I'm going to use a little bit more of this. And maybe I can even use a touch of it in the back pattern, or maybe a little bit of this in that back pattern where I did the background pattern, maybe add a little bit of this. I love this being the wispy that comes up with the gold and the pink. It really works for me. But see, if I'm not careful, that powder is jumping right out of the cup. Be really careful when you're folding this in. All right, let's see. I think we got enough of everything else. Just to be safe. I hope we didn't use up all the silicone. I know that's a silly thing to think, but I'm just going to be safe and put a couple more drops of it in here because I really want it to work, and then give it one stir. So my globules are big. I want big globules. But this is going to make some pretty drips back there. I know you guys can't see the piece dripping, but it's going to make some gorgeous drips. All right, let's get up here, and I'm going to try to stand to do this time, make it a little bit easier. So let's get everything out of the way. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that first one, so. Now, everybody said let's clean it with alcohol first, so we're gonna do that. This time, I'm gonna spritz this with a little alcohol. Make sure there's no fingerprints. You can actually see some of the color. I got some color on there. So I'm spritzing it with alcohol. Wipe it down so we know that our tile is clean and there's no fingerprint oil on it, right? And just make sure it's nice and dry. I'm going to hit it with the torch. Make sure it's all dried off. I'm just going to go for the full dump on the blue because we know we have the right amount of blue in here. Let's see if we can tweak this camera and turn this way. This should be a much faster process than that other one because now we know what we're dealing with. So there's our blue moon. Do not go off that tile. I am not ready for you to drip yet, dude. No, 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 no. These smaller sticks are really hard to get everything off the bottom of your cup. I have big ones somewhere. Now, I know people that will, oh my, there's a hair in there. Something's in there. Could be one of my hairs. Wonderful. Donation to the cause, right? I've seen people at this point just spread it with their hands, but then you have to get rid of the glove that you have on your hand, and I don't want to do that. I'm not ready to give up that glove. This color's a little bit too close to the edge, so we're going to see if we can't pull it up a bit. Get the whole thing covered with this dark blue again. Again, it's really not warm enough. I'm trying really hard to do this and not beat. Basically burn the resin. I don't want to burn the epoxy. And you can do that. You have to be really careful not to overheat it. So that just makes these edges are good. We've gone to every single one of these little spots. Come on, let's get this corner done. This is the part that's frustrating me that doesn't go fast enough. Like I just can't spread it around. Like acrylic paint, you could just sit and go back and forth and cover the thing. With epoxy, it's a little bit different. And I don't want it so runny. I don't want to overheat this. Okay, let's get these edges. Now I'm going to add, I think I want to add some of this blue. And definitely put in that purple sapphire. That was gorgeous before in the background. Come on, girlfriend, get this out for me, please. I'm wondering if this thing will take it out. Well, yeah, that'll work. Get all the rest of the epoxy out of this cup. Doesn't matter if there's a little blue on it, right? Because we're going to heat this up and spread it. All right, let's get a little heat on this. Wherever I find my darn heat gun. Now, I heated it a little bit longer this time, trying to get some of these colors to gently blend in without over mixing them. Just kind of want to highlight back here. Give it one more heat to make sure everything's nice and smooth. And then we'll do our you guys, that really helped putting the alcohol on. I have no divots. Can you tell? There's no divots in there like there was in that other one. Thank you very much. Reminding me about alcohol. I knew that. Sometimes you forget stuff when you're on camera trying to impress people. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, let me impress you. Okay, I kind of like this for the top. I'm going to actually spin this around and have this be the bottom where my color is. All right. So we're going to use up everything else we got mixed now. Let's get some of this wild orchid mixed with dancing fuchsia, mixed with cotton candy or a fluorescent pink, whatever I put in there. I wanted it really bright and in your face, hot, shocking pink. Hey, at least we're going to use up all the resin this time. I won't have a bunch left over. And then we're going to use that interference. I don't have as much as last time, but we'll put a thin line here of the interference across. I'm going to use it one more time when we go across. This one I mixed up extra, so I wanted to make sure there was plenty of the cyan aqua in here. Let's go with our very interesting silicone gold. And the rest of this interference on the top, because we know it's going to mix with that silicone and it made those beautiful patterns. So I want every single bit of this interference in here to show. If you could see the underwater effects on the other one that's forming as I'm sitting here looking at that other one create its formation. Okay, come on, let's get the rest of this out of here, guys. And then I have a tiny bit more of this gold left. Let's use it all. Might as well. What else am I going to use it for? All right, let's get some heat on this. I now need to actually, I'm worried about my heat gun grabbing it with the resin on my hands, but we'll see how this works. High heat. Wow, guys, that turned out beautiful. Now I just have to sit and meander about color combinations I want to do. That is really pretty. And I'm super, super, super wrap my phone and all the tools needed in the press and seal. I know. By the way, Sonia, I don't know if you needed the card. I sent you your card this morning after I got your voice message. Now I'm liking the pink coming down into this. I'm liking this color combination a little bit better. I will run it down on the bottom like I did the other one, just a little bit, let it run a slight bit. Even though this one I started on the bottom, but it'll just pull some of that blue back down. Guys, I am really happy with this. Now, I'm not sure how much you can see the other one. I'm gonna try and let you see this other one. It's really starting to create some great formations over here. And it's weird how those little highlights of light blue are in there. And then this little sucker is pretty darn gorgeous. Really, let me pip off my hands, get my gloves off, get my hands clean, flip the camera so I can say hi, y'all. Hey guys, so they're gorgeous dripping off. I know, I can't wait to do something with those. So first of all, I want to apologize for yesterday, for rescheduling Tuesday and then rescheduling yesterday. A few of you called me to see how I was. I really appreciate the phone calls. Like I said, it was just this panic. It was the first time I said out loud to the public the possibility of me going blind. I know, that's kind of a shocking thing to say. But so I was really unnerved by that yesterday, and I just couldn't come on. You know, today, it's a fact of life. We do what we can do. If anything, it's motivating me more to make more purely pigment colors, to keep, you're right, to just keep moving forward, keep moving forward. Life is short. Make the most of it. Use your paints. And you know, my motto, don't walk by and pet it, pick it up and use it. Even if you get it and all you can do is sit and open up every one of your primary element jars and just do a little thing with water and a paintbrush, create a little color chart. Or your purely pigments, make a little dot of them, like what I was doing on the other day. I wet the water on the paper and drop the color on it and watch it explode. Play with it. Get excited about your paints. Get excited about all the products that you've got. I mean, not just color art, everything. We are no longer going to walk by and hoard our products and then pet them and say, ooh, I own you. That's not necessarily the healthiest thing to do. I'll show you guys the results tomorrow, because tomorrow I will be here at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Saturday I will be on at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Next weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend. Yeah, Renee, there's a possibility the sarcoidosis, they've got to do these tests, and the insurance company, Medicare, is giving a hard time to get my insurance that I signed up for activated. And I need to see a specialist, but even if I see a specialist, Renee, there's no cure for sarcoidosis. But at least if I know in advance, and it's a matter of record, if I ever need a disability someday, I'm protected, right? So at this point, I'm fine. My eye's a little bit bad, but they also said a macular degeneration in 5 years, and that was 6 years ago. So we pray for that, right? I can't believe I said that out loud. We hope for something else. I did get your order for the card. I didn't get your card made today. I got Sonia's done, and then I had to come on and do the live, but I did do it, Hope, and I will get your card to you probably about 20, 30 minutes after I hang up this. So yeah, Renee, it's awful, but you know what? Like everybody says, it ain't happening now. I could go blind in 2 years. I could go blind by the time I'm 100, right? Meanwhile, I'm going to make as many colors that I can, and I'm going to do this as fast as I can. And I'm liking how this one's developing below. I'm staring at the one that I used more of the cyan in, and I kind of like that effect. Sorry, I'm not going to show you right now because of the whole turning of the camera. But anyway, you guys have a few more days to join the Art of Color Club. If you want to find where it is, just go right to the very top of the navigation. It says Art of Color Club, ColorPlay Deals. Also in the ColorPlay Deals page, I am going to add the Wild Jasmine and the Ocean Diamond set sometime today. It'll go in there, maybe tonight, because it's me that's updating the website. And you're right, Hope, positivity. Hope got on the phone with me yesterday and said a prayer and said, just think hopeful things. There's quite a few guys that called me, and everybody who called me, thank you so much for calling, checking up on me. I am fine. I was just rattled yesterday. I'm human. I will see you tomorrow. I'm testing it, and I saw it this morning. I did a preview on the test site. So he's even figured out a way to where you won't actually put a code in. There's another place to say, I'm an Art of Color Club member, and I think it's going to ask for your email address. There's some verification. And like I said, then it'll write the thing, send me the sample of the week. We're trying to get that worked out. I was watching videos again this morning, trying to learn when I got caught on the phone with Catherine Mefford for an hour and a half. And I told her I was nervous. Right, Miss Catherine Mefford? I was nervous because I was running out of time to set up the table, which is why I decided to do an epoxy setup because the table was already set up. Love you, sweetheart. Catherine McGee, love you. Catherine Mefford, love you guys. Sharon McCabe, Hope Bryant, Renee Bruner, everybody that's up there. Luna, thank you so much for joining me. Audra, it was good to see you. And love you guys. Hugs and kisses. Bye.